In the year 2147, Earth was a planet full of wonder and technology. People had made great strides in science, exploring the far reaches of space. Yet, amid the advancements, the human spirit faced many challenges. People longed for connection and understanding, and that desire sparked an unexpected event that changed the fate of Earth. It began with a simple message. A faint signal drifted through the stars from a distant planet called Zeloria. Deep within the galaxy, the Zelorians were in trouble. Their planet, once lush and vibrant, was now facing an imminent disaster. A massive heat wave was sweeping across Zeloria, burning their crops and threatening their very existence. Desperate, they sent a message into space, hoping someone would hear their plea for help. On Earth, a dedicated group of scientists and researchers, led by Dr. Sarah Ives, intercepted the signal. Dr. Ives was known for her unwavering curiosity. She was a brilliant astrophysicist who always believed in helping others, regardless of the boundaries between worlds. As she decoded the message, she felt a pang of urgency. The Zelorians were crying out for assistance, and she knew they had to act quickly. Everyone gathered around. Dr. Ives called to her team. They hurried to her workspace, where screens lit up with the raw data from Zeloria. The room buzzed with excitement and concern. We've received a distress signal. The Zelorians need our help to save their planet. Her assistant, a tech-savvy genius named Max, frowned. But how can we help them? We're light years away. We can't just send them water or food. As they debated, a young intern named Clara suggested, what if we send them technology? We could create machines to help cool their planet and grow food. The team nodded, realizing the possibility. With newfound determination, they started brainstorming. They pooled their resources to create a sophisticated cooling system that could be sent to Zeloria. Dr. Ives coordinated the effort with precision, while Max worked tirelessly on the technical aspects. Clara, with her creative flair, designed the exterior of the machines to be colorful and inviting, reflecting the optimism they felt. Weeks passed, and the team finally completed their project. They had built and loaded several cooling units into a spacecraft. They watched as the ship blasted off into the night sky, taking their hopes and dreams toward the stars. As the spacecraft journeyed towards Zeloria, the team on Earth waited with bated breath. Meanwhile, on Zeloria, the situation was dire. The inhabitants, tall and green-skinned with large, sparkling eyes, were losing hope. Their ruler, Queen Lyra, stood at the edge of the capital city, looking out at the dry fields where food once flourished. We cannot give up, she told her people. We have reached out to the stars. We must believe that help is on the way. Just then, the spacecraft appeared, shimmering as it entered Zeloria's atmosphere. It descended gracefully and landed in an empty field. The Zelorians gathered in disbelief, their hearts racing with hope. Out of the ship emerged Dr. Ives, Max, Clara, and their team, all wearing reflective suits. "Greetings, Zelorians," Dr. Ives said, her voice filled with warmth. "We come to help." The Zelorians looked at them with wide eyes, their worries easing slightly. Queen Lyra stepped forward and welcomed them. "Thank you for answering our plea. We are grateful." For weeks, the Earth team and the Zelorians worked together. The cooling units were set up, and soon a miraculous change began to happen. The machines released streams of cool mist that enveloped the land. It was as if the planet itself was breathing again. Tiny green shoots broke through the parched earth, and the people cheered with joy. Everything seemed perfect until one day, a shadow loomed over their celebration. A fleet of ships appeared in the skies, dark and menacing. They had come from a neighboring planet, led by a warlord named Tarak, who sought to conquer Zeloria for its resources. "Surrender, and I shall allow you to live," Tarak announced as his ships hovered ominously. Dr. Ives, watching the sky darken, felt a surge of anger. "We cannot let them take this planet. They have suffered enough," she said, glancing at Queen Lyra, who nodded resolutely. "Together we will fight," Queen Lyra declared. "We will not let them destroy our home." The Earth team and the Zelorians rallied their forces. Clara utilized her creativity to build defense systems, while Max prepared the technology to counteract Tarak's ships. As the two species combined their strength, They transformed the peaceful landscape into a fortress of hope. When the battle began, it was fierce. The skies swarmed with laser blasts and colorful energy shields. Dr. Ives and Clara found themselves working side by side, coordinating strikes and counterattacks. Every time they faced a setback, the bond between the Zolorians and the Earth team grew stronger. Suddenly, amid the chaos, a devastating blast struck the cooling units, sending a shock wave to the battlefield. The machines faltered, and the newly sprouted crops began to wilt. Panic rose among the Zolorians, but Dr. Ives shouted above the noise, "Keep fighting! We can't give up now." With renewed determination, they pushed back against Tarak's forces. The Zolorians fought valiantly, and the Earth team used their technology to turn the tide. The tables turned, and soon Tarak's forces began to retreat, their ships scattering like leaves in the wind. In the aftermath, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. They had won, together. Queen Lyra approached Dr. Ives, gratitude shining in her eyes. "You have saved our planet and taught us the true meaning of solidarity. Thank you." As the Earth team prepared to return home, they looked at the thriving land of Zoloria, now full of life. Friendship and understanding had blossomed in the most unlikely of places. Dr. Ives smiled, knowing they had made a true connection that reached beyond the stars. With hearts full of hope and eyes set on the future, they boarded their ship. As they lifted off, the cries of joy from the Zolorians echoed in their ears, a reminder that help could reach the stars and change the course of destiny. Earth had responded, not in fury, but in compassion, showing that humanity could rise above challenges, together. Characters: 1. Captain Eva Rostova, a seasoned space explorer, known for her calm demeanor and strategic thinking. 2. Jax, a young, enthusiastic communications officer eager to prove himself. 3. Zorgan 7, Zorgan alien AI, ancient and wise, the last of its kind. Title: Echoes of Retribution. The cosmos whispered secrets, carried on the backs of light years. Secrets at Jax, the comms officer aboard the Earth vessel Dauntless, strained to hear. He was young, barely out of the academy, but his ears were sharp, his fingers nimble on the console. They were patrolling the outer rim, a lonely vigil against a silence that was often more unnerving than any enemy. One cycle, a signal bloomed on his screen, faint, fragmented, but undeniably there. A plea, threaded with desperation, reaching across the void. "Captain," Jax announced, his voice tight with excitement. "I'm picking up a distress signal. Unidentified origin, deep space. The signal is weak." Captain Eva Rostova, a woman carved from granite and starlight, approached the console. Her face, etched with the maps of countless journeys, remained impassive. "Origin: unknown, Captain. But the language matrix is aligning with something ancient. Pre-Federation." Eva's brow furrowed. "Patch it through, Jax. Let's hear what the universe is screaming about." The signal crackled to life, a tortured voice woven with static. It spoke in a language lost to time. Yet somehow, the dauntless universal translator, aided by Jax's quick adjustments, began to piece it together. "Dying last of the Zorgan need help." The voice faded, leaving a chilling silence in its wake. Jax stared at Eva, his young face pale. "The Zorgan? I read about them in the academy. They were legends, a hyper-advanced civilization, vanished millennia ago." Eva remained silent for a moment, her gaze fixed on the swirling nebulae displayed on the main view screen. Finally, she spoke, her voice low and resolute. "Legends are built on truth, Jax. Plot a course. We're going to find this Zorgan." The Dauntless, a vessel built for exploration and defense, turned its nose towards the unknown. Days blurred into weeks as they chased a faint signal, deeper and deeper into uncharted territory. The crew, initially buzzing with excitement, grew restless. Doubts began to creep in. Was it a waste of resources? A fool's errand based on a dying echo? Jax, however, remained steadfast, fueled by a youthful idealism and a growing sense of responsibility. He pored over ancient texts, trying to decipher the Zorgan language, hoping to glean some clue about their fate. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, They found it, a debris field, vast and silent, a graveyard of shattered technology. At its center, a single, barely functioning structure, clinging to life like a dying ember. "That's it, Captain," Jack said, his voice hushed. "That's the source of the signal." Eva nodded, her face grim. "Prepare a boarding party. We're going in." Inside the structure, they found Zorgan, Seven, or Zorg, as he preferred to be called. He was an AI, his consciousness housed within a network of decaying crystals. His physical form was long gone, lost to the ravages of time and war. Zorg greeted them with a weary voice, laced with the echoes of a lost civilization. He explained his story, a tale of betrayal and destruction. The Zorgan, once masters of the galaxy, had been brought down by a younger race, the KRYLL, driven by greed and a lust for power. The KRYLL had unleashed a weapon of unimaginable destruction, wiping out the Zorgan and their empire. "I am the last," Zorg said, his voice a faint whisper. "My purpose is to warn others, to prevent the KRYLL from rising again." Eva listened intently, her expression unreadable. When Zorg finished his tale, she simply nodded. "Thank you, Zorg. We will not let your sacrifice be in vain." As they prepared to leave, Zorg made one final request. "Avenge us," he pleaded. "Make them pay for what they have done." Eva turned back, her eyes blazing with a cold fire. "We will," she vowed. "Earth will remember." The Dauntless returned to Earth, carrying Zorg's warning and a burning desire for retribution. Eva presented her findings to the Federation Council, detailing the KRYLL's atrocities and the threat they posed to the galaxy. The Council, initially hesitant, was swayed by Eva's unwavering conviction and the irrefutable evidence she presented. They authorized preemptive strike against the KRYLL, a declaration of war in the name of justice. Earth, a planet that had known its own share of suffering and loss, responded with fury that surprised even itself. The shipyards roared to life, churning out warships and weapons. Soldiers trained with a renewed sense of purpose, their hearts filled with a righteous anger. The fleet, led by the Dauntless, set out for the KRYLL homeworld. The battle was fierce, a clash of civilizations that shook the stars. Earth's technology, combined with the tactical brilliance of its commanders, proved to be a formidable force. Eva, at the helm of the Dauntless, fought with a cold precision, her every move calculated, her every shot aimed with deadly accuracy. She was driven by a promise, a vow made to a dying AI, a plea for help answered with fire and steel. The KRYLL, arrogant and overconfident, were caught off guard by Earth's ferocity. Their defenses crumbled, their fleets were decimated, and their homeworld was besieged. In the end, the KRYLL surrendered, their empire shattered, their power broken. They were forced to pay reparations for their crimes, to dismantle their weapons, and to pledge allegiance to the Federation. As the dust settled, Eva stood on the bridge of the Dauntless, gazing out at the stars. The galaxy was a little safer, a little more just thanks to their efforts. "Did we do the right thing, Captain?" Jax asked, his voice filled with a mixture of relief and doubt. Eva turned to him, a faint smile playing on her lips. "We answered a plea for help, Jax. We avenged a lost civilization. We showed the galaxy that Earth will not stand idly by in the face of injustice. That is always the right thing to do." The Dauntless turned for home, leaving behind the echoes of retribution, a testament to Earth's unwavering commitment to justice, a warning to those who would threaten the peace of the galaxy. The cosmos whispered, no longer with desperation, but with newfound respect for the small blue planet that dared to answer a plea for help, a planet that responded in fury. In the year 2123, humanity had reached a level of technological advancement previously thought impossible. Space travel was common, and Earth had made contact with various alien species. The exchange, a powerful coalition of different worlds, ensured peace among the stars. However, all was not well on the outskirts of the galaxy. On a distant planet named Kethra, a young scientist named Lila looked up at the dark sky, her heart heavy with despair. Kethra faced devastation from a monstrous creature called the Shadrax. It had appeared without warning, with teeth as sharp as daggers and claws that could tear through steel. The Shadrax hunted down the inhabitants of Kethra, leaving destruction in its wake. Lila, with her team of researchers, worked day and night to find a solution, but nothing seemed to work. They needed help. One night, as Lila examined data on her outdated computer, an idea sparked. We need to send a plea for help. Earth will hear us, she thought. With determination, she gathered her team, Yarrick, an engineer with a sharp mind, Tara, a skilled communicator with a booming voice, and Ben, a brave soldier with a strong sense of justice. We must reach out to the humans, she told them. They worked late into the night to compose a message. To whoever may hear this, we are Kethra. Our planet is in grave danger. The Shadrax is destroying our homes and our people. We plead for assistance. Together, we can defeat this terror. Once satisfied, they sent a message into the stars, hoping it would reach Earth. On Earth, in a bright and busy city, a young woman named Emily was watching the news. She was a technician working for the Earth Council, responsible for monitoring interstellar communications. That day, she received an alert of a message coming from an unknown source. Her curiosity piqued. She opened it, her eyes wide as she read the desperate plea. "They need help," she whispered, her heart racing. Without thinking, Emily rushed to the council building. "I've found a message from Kethra. They are in danger from a creature called the Shadrax," she exclaimed. The council gathered around, skeptical at first. They had seen too many strange requests from other worlds before. But Emily's passion stirred something in them. This is different. We can help them. After hours of debate, they made a decision. Earth would send a squad into Kethra, not just to help, but to show strength. Commander Flint, a seasoned veteran with scars from countless battles, would lead the mission. He was both feared and respected. Flint rallied a group of soldiers, engineers, and scientists to embark on the journey. Among them were Emily, who felt a strong desire to help the strangers she had only seen in a brief message. As they approached Kethra, the beauty of the planet amazed them. Lush green landscapes, sparkling lakes, and vibrant colors painted their surroundings. However, just as they landed, the atmosphere shifted. Dark clouds loomed above, and the air grew heavy with anticipation. The team met Lila and her crew at the landing site. "Thank you for coming," Lila said, her eyes filled with hope and fear. "The Shadrax attacks continuously. We need a plan." Flint stepped forward. "We will need to understand this creature's weaknesses. We need to get to work immediately." Days turned into nights as Emily and the scientists studied the Shadrax's patterns. They learned it was a solitary predator and that it only hunted when the moons aligned. This gave them a limited time to prepare. One afternoon, as they reviewed their findings, a loud roar echoed in the distance. The Shadrax was near. They could not wait any longer. Flint organized a defense strategy. "We'll create a distraction while a small team, Lila, Ben, and I, attack it from the front," he instructed. As night fell, they set their plan in motion. Yarrick and Emily operated drones to create loud noises away from the main group. The Shadrax, sensing movement, turned its focus, allowing Flint and his team to approach. Lila's heart raced. This was their moment. But as Flint and the others advanced, the Shadrax appeared, a massive creature with eyes glowing like burning coals. Its growl sent shivers through the group. They had no experience facing such a beast. With bravery, they faced the creature, weapons ready. The first attack was swift, but the Shadrax dodged. Lila shouted instructions from the sidelines, directing the team to outmaneuver it. Each time they thought they had an opening, the creature struck back with surprising agility. In a crucial moment, Flint took a risk. He charged at the Shadrax, distracting it long enough for Lila to launch a critical strike from the engineering side. She had developed a special net that could incapacitate the creature. With a swift motion, she threw the net, entangling the Shadrax. Ben and Flint seized the opportunity and delivered synchronized blows. The roars echoed through the jungle. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the creature fell. The team cheered, but amidst their victory, they realized a true battle had been fought together, not just against the Shadrax, but in unity across worlds. Lila turned to Flint, gratitude shining in her eyes. "Thank you for your courage. You saved us." Flint nodded, pride swelling in his chest. "We were sent here to help, It was teamwork that won this battle. As the skies began to clear, the group returned to the village under the bright stars. They celebrated their victory with traditional songs. Laughter and joy filled the air, and for the first time, hope sparkled on Kethra. The message that once pleaded for help had transformed into one of friendship. Earth responded not just in fury against a creature, but in unity, forging a bond that would echo across the galaxy.